Hey there, guys and girls, I'm Grifter, your host of Retro Productions. I'm bothered with something. I just can't get rid of the feeling that gamers have become a spoiled species these days. But wait, maybe I'm going a bit too fast here. Allow me to explain where I come from. Oh boy, I can still vividly remember the time when arcade halls were still a real thing. Better yet, it was the best you could find in terms of gaming. So it all depended on where you lived. If you had an arcade hall close by, you could go by foot or by bike. If you were unlucky, you had to go by bus or car, and it could take you hours till you got there. And it wasn't a cheap hobby, no, it cost quite a lot of money. And do realize this cost you money and you could only play when you were there. As a gamer, we could only dream to have games with a quality like in the arcades, to have them home, to be able to play them home. And it actually took quite a time before they got there. Really, it took them generations before we even got close. We're gonna exclude consoles like the Atari 2600 because they didn't even came close to what we got in the arcades, but I think the first console that actually came close, not quite there, but close, was the NES. But like I said, it was close, but it was still miles away from what we got in the arcades, so really. And not even the generation after that, and not the one after that, we never got those stuff like we got in the arcades. The arcades, they were always a bit, they were 1 or 2 generations in advance. And it took them until the Dreamcast. That console gave you what you actually were playing in the arcades. It was identical. But anyways, I'm getting kinda sidetracked here. Let's get back to the point. So in my opinion, gamers are getting spoiled, and well, I loved the 80s, and man, we paid a lot for ugly games. They were short, they were not really inspiring, they barely had any story in it, yet we bought them and we even liked them. We didn't have internet, we didn't have all those glorified magazines online, we couldn't check news, reviews. We could buy a magazine, but there were maybe 1, 2 or 3 interesting magazines, and still. And you only had 2 options. You either bought the game or you didn't buy it. And afterwards, if you didn't like the game, you would tell your friends, but that would be it. It stopped there. No crusade afterwards, no boycott that you could set up online, no government that tried to complicate things. Nope. It was all about gaming, honestly. About a love we all have, we all share. We all have that thing in common. But these days, it feels different. These days, we want to have a lot for what we pay for. And that's a good thing, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a good thing that some things that happen, but still, where do you draw the line? Where do you say stop, it's enough? You're killing things, you're destroying stuff. I do get the complaints that people have, really, I do feel the same things. I miss cardboard games, I miss the booklets inside them, but still, for me, it's more about the game, not about the cover.
But what about the piracy?
Well, there always has been piracy, but these days it does more harm than it ever has. Back in the days, I played a lot of pirated games as well, but I bought a lot of games and I didn't destroy the games that I didn't like. I mean, if I didn't buy it, I didn't even bother complaining about a bad game since I didn't pay for it in the first place. I mean, that's a pretty sick thought, that you would pirate a game, you don't like the game, and you fucking hate it. That's so silly. And then we have all those horrible, horrendous influencers. Jesus, what about that shit? What about the people that used to have their own opinion, but these days, I'm gonna check out that site, I'm gonna check out this place, and maybe I'll buy it, maybe I'll pirate it. Oh no, my favorite influencer said it sucked, so I'm skipping the game. And there's a lot of more complaints I have, but I'm not gonna bother you with all my complaints. I mean, I will be silly as well. But what I can elaborate with the result of this is, I think there's something else going on. Back in the days when you had a bit more freedom, because the stakes weren't so high. I mean, these days a game costs a fortune, so it better be good and it better be successful. And there lies a problem. That being successful, it means a developer can't really make what they want to make, but they are forced to be making games that gamers want to play. And there's a tiny problem with that. Of course, the most legendary games I did play and did enjoy are mostly games that had almost complete freedom from the developer, because it was a game that he wanted to make and not a game that he wanted to be successful. So on the one hand, we have those horrible moral enforcers that think that they are doing a great thing for gaming, but honestly, really, I don't think so. I think they do a lot of bad stuff for gaming, actually. I mean, many IPs died because those kind of gamers. Now let's take Mass Effect for example. The fourth game, I know it was, in comparison to the others, it was kind of terrible, honestly, but I did play it till the end and I kind of enjoyed it. And I do remember Mass Effect 1 wasn't that good as well. It wasn't until part 2 and 3 that it really took off. So sometimes it really it nerves me. And EA probably won't make a new one. No, what did they make? Well, they want to have a Destiny game. Why? Because that sells a lot. It's such a sad thing. I'm not even a fan of Electronic Arts, neither of Ubisoft, but if you would believe gamers these days, they are the true source of evil. Same things with launches these days. I know the whole Epic Store thing, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks that Epic Store forces, they don't force, they pay people to have the game releasing exclusively on their platform. But I do get why they do that. I mean, it's a company, they want to make money, but it sucks that developers are the ones that are going to be losing here. Take Shenmue 3 for example. I'm looking forward to that game for 20 years now. It's finally coming, but that game, even before it got released, it got such a huge setback. Caused angry gamers that, of course, it was exclusive to Epic Store, so instead of being angry at the Epic Store, they boycott the game. That sucks. If you want to play Borderlands, just play Borderlands. Don't refuse to play that game because it's on a platform. That's so silly. That sucks for the developer. That hurts. I know. We always have excuses why, and we always glorify the past. It was always better, it was always cheaper. Expansions passes were the whole game on their own. Season pass sucks, and I know, it does suck. But you do have to realize why those things came into existence. There are mainly two reasons for this. We have the second-hand market, and we have piracy. I always laugh when people start with the good old days, and the fact that you could sell your game. Unlike now, like on Steam, where you own the game and it stays your game. I always laugh because they seem to have to be forgotten that it took sometimes certain minutes just to start up your game, because it had anti-piracy measures and it was unique. I remember with Monkey Island, you get a map or a turn thingy where you had to generate a code just to start up your game. So back in the days on consoles, you didn't have that shit, and they started using a online pass to lock you out of the online function. So if you sold the game second hand, you had to buy a pass, and gamers didn't like that, so gamers complained, and I do realize that it sucked. It sucked when you buy the second hand game, you still had to pay $20 to activate the online pass. So yeah, go buy it new then maybe, I don't know. Then Microsoft came with the super plan. They were going to include a system that would disable you to resell your game. So EA was happy, and all the other devs like Ubisoft as well, so they cancelled their need to buy an online pass. we all know what happened to Microsoft, and they still suffer from that mistake they made. Sony played smart because they had the same plan, but they quickly cancelled their plans and added to please the gamers. Remember the slogan? For gamers? You know how many gamers bought a PlayStation console just for that slogan? For the gamers? Really, it worked. Good job, Sony. Oh yeah, that's right. I started off with those arcade halls. That had a reason. I wanted to show you what kind of graphics we had back then and what kind of cool, awesome games we can play right now. So, before you go complain, reconsider that. So in my opinion, my honest opinion, we're stuck with a spoiled generation with, honestly, a bad taste for video gaming. So I thank you for your attention, and I hope you don't desubscribe, because maybe you're one of them. Maybe you should desubscribe then. Anyways, love you all. Till another rant.